Hello everyone, this is Kosher Bake and welcome back to another Minecraft video. So, remember how I talked about how I was going to do world tours, right? See how people liked my worlds. I'm probably starting a new one for 113, might do a let's play of that world, but I figured I'd go through some of my older worlds and some of my current ones maybe. So, my first ever, well, other than the let's talk about my first real Minecraft video, and it's a world tour. Kind of breaking the standard expectations there. Anyways, let's get to it. This is Test World. This is my third ever world that I created. I created a survival world for my first one, and I had a creative world that was in regular survival terrain. This is the world where I basically screw around with anything, everything, whatever I feel like it. And yeah, there's a lot to this. I've been playing in this world since 1.7? I don't even remember. Just like a week before 1.7.10 came out, I started playing. How do you pronounce that? 1.7.10? 1.7.10? I'm not sure. So this is the center of our world, my world, the giant cactus. Back before they updated the wool colors and changed it, it looked a lot similar to the Minecraft cactus, which I built it on. I didn't really need a base of operations or anything, I just wanted something to mark the center point of the world. And I thought a cactus would be a cool thing to build, so it's to scale 3 cacti tall. And it has changed a bit over the years. At first it was empty on the inside, it just had some glowstones so hostile mobs wouldn't spawn. I've updated the game rules of this world a lot over the years, so hostile mobs don't spawn at night anymore. And yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside now. I like this floor pattern. It's a nice tessellating thing, it looks nice. I don't know. And we got a set of diamond enchanted armor in case I need to do something with that. I have a dispensing station for that elsewhere. I have some villagers. You might notice a couple of them are Dinnerbone or Grum. Just because. A couple Jeb sheep. There's a lot of people hanging out over by Jeff over here. But yeah, that's Jeff. We keep him in there, and I actually built a thing there so we could feed him. You walk up to it, and it appears and disappears. When I first learned about command blocks, I was so confused by them, but after a lot of practice and trying, it's great now. Originally I was writing down a list of enchantments and effects in here. It took a while to get these villagers. I would just spawn in the baby ones, name them, wait for them to grow up, I think. I forget. No, wait, I named the spawn eggs, that's right, and then you just tried to get the right one. We've got Steve, Grum, Dinnerbones around here, over there. Here's Prof, Tom. This is Og, the Iron Golem. He appears occasionally throughout my worlds. And Farmer Joe, because originally I had like a wheat field in here and they were feeding one, and Farmer Joe would feed them. Kind of just a random thing. I got a table with some cake. Anyway, we're gonna be here forever if I say every single thing, so a lot of the stuff's probably not gonna get mentioned, just looked at. So we got some command blocks over here. Let's head to the top of the giant cactus. Is it teleported down? I actually like how that turned out. It looks very nice. And this, it's sort of based off of, if anyone's here seen like Dragon Ball, you know Korin's tower, I forget what it's called, where they had that thing floating on top of the tower, and I sort of modeled it based off that. Here's where I keep my pets. They are allowed, so I never go back up here. I got a cow, a wolf, a cat, and a bird now from 1.12. So I got a music disc collection, a flying machine, and a elytra. A bunch of random stuff that might not be obtainable anymore, or became obtainable in the game. I don't know. I just wanted to build something crazy, so I built that. Alright, so that's the giant cactus, more or less. Should we do teleport room now? I just got so much stuff in this world, I don't even know what half of it does anymore. One of these things. I was experimenting with redstone primarily in this world, so there's redstone contraptions all over this place. Yeah. And I don't remember what any of it does. I think this is impossible now. Beds have updated, so they shouldn't do this anymore, but I did it before that was possible. When I did this, it blew my mind. I was like, why is that not a thing already? This is, I think, actually the spawn point of my world. In case I ever opened it up for multiplayer, I wanted a nice area to figure out where people would spawn. This is the old labs. Originally this was a zombie infection testing lab. I eventually copied the building and moved it elsewhere, so this is just sort of my configuration settings for this world. I built a couple command blocks, made a fake AI Jarvis who can do stuff for me. So he'll give me a speed boost, he'll remove it, automatic day weather clear, so toggling, making sure that the weather is always good and that it's always daytime. This is that armor station, that's where that super armor came from. I was playing around with commands. I was thinking about building a custom map, and I wanted custom armor, obviously. So yeah, just playing around with the lore options, the naming, the effects of it. Because, I mean, it's a creative world. I don't need diamond armor for anything. This is the wiring for that. I was playing around with something else where you would stand on these things that would give you torches, and then your inventory would be cleared of torches in dungeons. Probably one of the things I like most about Redstone is pistons, so this was an attempt to build a piston elevator, but I don't think these work anymore. I still keep it around, because why not? Also because I'm too lazy to tear everything up. This is a thing. Probably not going to use it. It would just copies a word made of sand and gravel. It falls down, then I have a system to clear it. These... we'll get to these. No, let's do it now. So, when I bought Minecraft, I wanted to show it to my younger brother, right? So what do? I built him a dirt hut, I put TNT in the floor, let him control it, and I placed a pressure plate so that he walks down on it, and boom. And then I built another one that shot arrows out of him, and then I built another one that had silverfish in the walls, and another one where it would drop an anvil on him, and I just sort of kept going. This one dispenses lava. I think this one had a TNT cannon hooked up to it. This one had water hidden in the roof. I sort of somewhat recreated them over here. This one, there's a pit in the floor. This one I tried to make, it was pretty bad even when I built it, when it wasn't just a solid ice cube. It had something that would deploy a bunch of hidden redstone lights and melt around him, but it didn't go so well. I had a cobblestone generator in the walls of one house that crushed into him. Coffin, a tomb, whatever, or a bottomless pit. A random one where I just grew trees in the dirt floor. Crusher 2.0, I think. Yeah, it's just on the side here. I don't know, random death traps. This is a hole in the ground. This is the wiring for the Crusher 2.0. This is an attempt to build a almost flush with the floor secret staircase. The idea being that this would all be hidden. I don't know, it's pretty awkward. A lot of my earlier redstone contraptions are very awkward. Let's talk about the elevator, although I think it's broken right now. I think it's fixed in 1.13? So yeah, this is a zipper elevator I looked up online. I didn't build this, obviously. Let's just use the command block. So yeah, it goes all the way from almost 0 to top of the world. I actually built a mob farm up here. I was experimenting with mob farm designs. So I would actually have the drops fall down a glass tube and go to this system over here. It would go into a, yeah, I have a little thing, get out of the lift. It's a IT crowd quote. So I would have a glass tube, they'd fall into this hopper system, which would be a chest delivery system, and it would transfer it to a storage system over in the cactus. Pretty worthless considering it's creative mode, and I could just spawn in whatever I needed. I was just playing around with it, the mechanics. This is various attempts at various things, mostly crop growing, I think. This is a looping powered rail track. A firework fountain, I think? Yeah, you can hear the clicking. That's the dispensers trying to fire off these things. I was experimenting with lamps for decorative lamps. How you could use pressure plates flush with the floor for like the custom map I was talking about earlier. Alright, that's a creeper face. I was experimenting with the different pressure plates because I didn't know what the differences really were. Activator, rail testing. This is the firework factory. I'm actually pretty proud with how this thing came out, even though it's a pretty ugly building. So the way this works, let me just designed it off another thing I saw on YouTube. This will randomly give me various components to build a firework. So then you build it and you drop it, and it delivers another one. It's just a random collection of various dyes and whatnot. So then you take your firework stars over here, and you put them over here, and it will dispense amounts of paper and gunpowder so that you can build firework rockets. You take it over here, stick them in the dispenser, it will copy it to these dispensers on the ground here. That's wired up to a thing up over there where you can fire them off and watch them. This is a ceiling block swapper. I built a floor one. Well, I saw someone else build a floor one and imitated it and flipped it around until I got it to work for the ceiling somewhat. It's pretty awkward looking. This is the steakhouse. It's, the door is open 24/7, as it says. And let's just get this thing started. So it spawns in the cows. That's probably very loud, sorry about that. Here, let's drop that down to 40 for now. Then washes away the stuff. It was then that I discovered that if you kill an animal with fire, it cooks the food that it drops. Again, it's just a random pointless thing, but why not, right? Here, let's get this up over to 60. Although that catches fire, that's a design flaw. The door even opens when there's stuff in there. Then you just pop the stuff on the barbecue and never see it again, because that's how barbecues work. This is a trapping door thing. I wanted to design some redstone that would dispense like a bucket of lava as a mob trap. This is something different. The stuff sometimes ends up in there. Hoppers under the lava. Yeah, I think that's one of my attempts at a dispensing thing. This is a thing you can do where you can just punch out an end portal in creative. Water gate, obviously, very important to have one of those. Why I couldn't just walk through the passageway like a normal person, I'm not sure. What else? I think this is just something dumb. Yeah, you pillared up with carpet, and what'd you do? Was there a button up here? I'm trying to remember. There's gotta be a button. What else is all this redstone stuff for? Push the button, and yeah, it dropped you into a pit. Again, just a random thing. I was playing around with a building palette, a material palette for building. It got more and more abstract. This is probably the thing I decided on. Cactus farm. You would, here, where's some cactus? You would plant it would grow, and you could harvest it with this. Straight and simple. Played around with that idea over here. I also wanted something like this where you could run a minecart underneath it with a hopper, and would go into the minecart with the hopper. I was going to build a mansion. I realized there were so many windows, so I just sort of embraced the concept. And never ended up finishing it, and it probably never will be finished. Those are just some floor tile plans. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. I have a different section where I went into detail with that. This is a rainbow tunnel. Again, just more like a random idea I played with for a while. I was interested in making a guardian farm, so I started building something with this and sort of gave up halfway. Wanted to build a mini-game where you would have to dig around in a cube and get stuff. Never actually did anything with it, probably never will. This is something that might get some use in a little bit. Speedboat testing. Most people probably know you can stick boats on ice, and I wanted to test how long it would take to traverse this distance. Once we get blue ice in 1.13, I'm going to test that as well. I wanted to build a maze, so I did. This is the first attempt, that's the second one over there. I wanted to do a hedge maze, but I realized I built too small over here. There's the difference between how you can place a door on the left and the right. So, here, just real quick. You're playing hard mode Minecraft, right? You've dug into a cave like everyone else. You place down your door like this, right? Zombies can still break the door down. So if you place the door like this, then open it like that, they can't break it because they think the door's open already. Because doors assume that they're placed in the closed position, this is the open position, even though this could be the doorway. So, based on that idea, I wanted to make one that worked with pressure plates, because if you used that design with a pressure plate, observe, versus this, where it opens for you. So, I did end up building one. Just had to place a step apart and invert the signal with a redstone torch. I'm probably not going to do like a redstone tutorial or anything. You can find much better than what I can do. This was the attempt to make a lighthouse light that would only activate during nighttime. I did end up building something like a lighthouse, and I just looped the thing so it goes constantly. That's a very bad looking lighthouse though, like that is not my best attempt. So this is something I was going to MC edit into its own map, that's why there's this stuff over here. And release, but I never think I did it. You just push the button, wait for the computer to lag out, and boom, maze. And I'm not going to solve it on camera, partially because I may one day actually release this. But it just, here, let me see if I can show you the circuitry. Yeah, this is, yeah. it's just a whole mess. The bottom was actually kind of annoying to deal with at first. There's a reason why this is so high up. Let me see if I can just break through over here. Yeah, this is the circuitry for the bottom. You can tile this indefinitely, which is more or less what I had to do. I mean, it wasn't so bad. I had commands. I could just fill the area. And I just sort of gave it a nice facade over here. I think it looks nice. I'm very bad with building normally, but I actually like how this arch turned out. Let's see, more rail testing over here. Still trying to get a reliable item elevator post 1.9 because they changed how the things work. So this dispenses buttons, and I think this works, although it's kind of glitchy looking. Item logistics, moving things around in this game is pretty fun. I wanted to build an arena. This was the first attempt. I very quickly realized I didn't give myself any space for anything. Just abandoned it and left it here. You're going to hear that a lot. This was an attempt to make an item filter. It actually did end up working later. You have to bump it up against two... You have to dispense something into a water stream, bump it up against two ender chests, then it goes directly down the middle over here, and the hoppers can pick it up while it's running along the packed ice. This is a floor block swapper. I'm not going to show the redstone for that. Another attempt at making a circular light. I don't know what this does. Oh yeah, one of these. This thing. This is proof that I am a horrible person. Yeah. Oh, whoops, that's not what I wanted. No regrets. Not sure what this was for. It was for something, I remember. This was a TNT launcher. I think it doesn't work anymore, but it still functions. You just have to time it right, then... All the way up to 73. Not bad, actually. I remember getting up to 200 with this in a previous version. Piston door madness. That's all I have to say about this area, but let's talk about it. So I was obsessed with pistons, right? Specifically piston doors and piston elevators. So this is... How did that work, actually? Did I screw with the timing? I thought that worked. So I kept trying to make a thing where it would be a piston elevator, but I could never really get the timing right or get it to work. And obviously this is a gigantic mess. I think this was the final version that I got working before I sort of gave up on this concept of a piston elevator and just looked up that zipper one I ended up installing. Piston door. Not at all synchronized, can only open from one side. Piston door 2. Synchronized, can open from both sides. Piston door 3 wanted to actually, wanted to move all 8 blocks instead of just 4. Wanted to move the corners as well. Also wanted to experiment with having buttons on the outside of the door so that creepers couldn't just walk into my base. Some pixel art, mushroom, cow. I think what this here is, I was obsessed with getting a piston door that would stay open after you stepped on the pressure plate, and I eventually did design a circuit that did that. And then I designed a different type of circuit that was better at that. And then I built... This is probably one of my best piston doors. It's just all 4 sides have buttons and pressure plates. All 4 sides, all 2 entrances have the necessary buttons and pressure plates. And then I went a little crazy, and I built a spiral one with a locking mechanism. So now, after I've stepped on these over here... guess it's all some kinks to work out. This doesn't work anymore. You have to step on that side again to get out. So yeah, that's a thing. This is just, I don't know why I built that one, honestly. Those are a couple I looked up, so I'm not going to bother showcasing them. I think Mumbo Jumbo, those are his piston doors. You can look those up. Double piston extenders, using fences and gravel to create a castle gate effect. No clue how I'd do anything bigger than that. It's already getting pretty ridiculous. So, I wanted to make a lossless item stream. If you had water pushing stuff down over here from a farm, So this was the design I ended up going with. It was pretty good. It's amazing my world doesn't lag out more considering how much stuff I have. This is a reattempt at those destructive houses I was talking about earlier. This is the same one with the TNT, except it's just more decorative. I think I did okay with them. A couple of them I'm proud of, a couple of them not so much. They're a lot more distinct, at least. Moving on. This is actually something recent. I wanted to build a... what was this? I think... oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to be able to play around with having multiple buttons do multiple things next to each other, using the maximum 15 distance for redstone. I don't even know anymore. Whatever, it's a thing. This is a music thing that's broken, so we don't talk about it. I wanted to build a library that would dispense the proper books for stuff. So you would click on Aqua Affinity, get a sand block, or in that case it's supposed to be an Aqua Affinity book for enchanting. But originally I had like in this place over here, I had a thing that would dispense the proper books, and I stocked it up, but it was just a laggy mess. I eventually got a new computer, the one I'm using now, and it probably would have been fine. This is my current design for a storage room. I like it a lot. Got 4 times 3, 12 double chests, which used to be enough to store a lot more stuff. Now we have so many unique things that this really isn't effective anymore. Plus, everyone has their shulker boxes on them with all their stuff, so this kind of is an outdated concept. Now it's all about having a massive storage system that's organized, or self-organizing, and just take what you need with you in shulker boxes and refill up a massive place. But it's nice to have one of those, I think. It's a recreation of one I had in a different world with the endstone and purpur block, or sandstone and purpur block themed update. Enchanting station. I think this was how I was doing the book matrix at one point, but I don't even know. This is a thing that doesn't work anymore, I don't think. Music thing. Still not talking about that. I was trying to figure out what to do with the terracotta, the clay blocks, hardened clay. I'm still going to call them that. I don't care what they call them. So this is tessellating patterns using 2 different types of blocks. So what you do is, let's just build on top. So you build a random 4x4 pattern, then you tessellate it, like so. You just mirror it, then mirror it that way, mirror it that way. And it looks pretty good, usually. Stop being dumb. Yeah, I don't know. Something like that, and then you can repeat it. And that's how you just take this one 4x4 area and slice it around, and it looks good. I really like how this one turned out, so I expanded it to a 16x16 instead of the 8x8. And yeah, I tried it for a couple different... I really like how this one looks, but never really did anything with that. Acacia looks so ugly. Just look at that. That's ugly. That's very ugly. Why does it exist? I was trying to make a palette for building roads. Everything in here is either going to be me trying to build something, make a palette, or a failed redstone creation device. I don't know why this is a thing. This is a pyramid. I wanted to build a pyramid one day. I think everyone's built a pyramid at some point, so I did kind of a twist on it. Don't know why this sticks out like this. It's my end portal. There's cake at the top. Why the cake is the capstone. Ah, here we go. That's the music thing that works. But first, what is this? What even is this? I think this is a unloader and loader system for a rail system. System. This is an item selection system for a massive storage room that I was planning on building with. I think this was just a test to see how far I could use redstone back when I started out. This is a way of making a NOT gate with being overly technically made. This is another failed project. I know, shocker. I wanted to make a rail system that spanned all around the world. However, I very quickly realized I had no clue what I was doing and built this mess instead. I think it turned out okay. This is all the different types of note block sounds. Currently 10 of them in the game. More might be added later. Yeah, this is the note block area. There's a couple things here that are okay. I didn't build this, I just looked this up. I wanted a simple note block song. Some people might recognize this. It's the Zelda finding or opening something thing. I don't know, I haven't done too many Legend of Zelda games. This is a music randomizer thingy. Let me explain. So you pull the lever, turns on this redstone here, activates these clocks. What do the clocks do? They run towards these droppers. Droppers have 9 things in them. They go into these hoppers. Now, depending on what's in the hopper, this comparator over here will give a signal of either 1 or 3. Every time it gives a 3, it activates the note block. And this occurs once every 2 ticks, I think, or once every tick. I mean, the clock is set to, yeah, delay of 2 ticks over here. It's actually kind of laggy when it's running, so I don't keep it running all the time. But yeah, I can sort of just... It's completely random music, honestly. Although I'm not sure if this is music as much as it is just banging your fingers on the keyboard. Well, sounds cool, though. And I guess that's what music is. Noise that sounds cool. Firework? Oh, what? Give me that. That looked cool. What is this? This is... I guess I learned you could do that with fireworks at the time. I forgot that was a thing. This is a nether portal that shuts off after you enter it. So you would press the button, go in, and it shuts itself off. I'm not sure why I needed a nether portal that shut itself off, but it's a thing. Slime blocks were a lot of fun when we got them in 1.8, so I built a couple things with them. Never really ended up using them for a large part of my worlds. The most I would do would be one of these jump pads if I was building in a place that has lots of hills. Beacon testing, huh? Or Simon game, whatever I ended up calling it. Once I learned you could color beacons, I had to build a Simon game, right? So I did. Then I built a thing where you could select any of the 16 different colors and shut it off. I think the purple beam looks really cool. Honestly, they all look cool. This is a color mixer, slightly different in that you can... Yeah, this is the observer, so let's go down here. So say we want to mix red, and where's white? Where's yellow? I think this is yellow, and... Is there orange? Yeah, orange. Then we go to the observer, and that's what that looks like. It looks just like an orange, actually. I don't know how well color mixing works with this game. Maybe that's a different type of orange. Maybe red and yellow together, which is orange already, can't be more orange because of orange. Maybe if we whitened it, it becomes lighter? Whitened? Yeah, now it's the sort of peach. I don't know. Just a random thing. Wow, I've still got so much stuff. This is the teleport room. I've got 8 different locations. I should have really made a more expansive area. It's just a random place off to the side. Where should we go next? Command room, the lab. Ooh, let's go to the lab. There's the sandstone maze I showed earlier. So this is the lab. I really like that door. It was based off one of the old, not old, but the Tinker's Mechworks from the mod Tinker's Mechworks drawbridges. I really liked those. In modded Minecraft, you could have a player sensor. You could do this in survival if you had the correct mods. So this thing, buttons and levers everywhere. What does it do? So let's get ourselves some test subjects. They have all volunteered, although they are very loud, so we're actually going to turn down hostile and passive creatures. Okay, then let's get a zombie test subject. And yeah, we'll go let that run for a minute. I'll explain the other functions. This is emergency supplies, just basic diamond stuff. The zombie purifier, of course, splash potion of weakness and a golden apple. And then, yeah, they just sort of infect everything. Because I'm playing hard mode, they get armor and stuff. That is a really glitchy looking texture, actually. I know, I was so happy when I found out this is a thing. Originally I only played on easy, really, so I didn't know, because on easy they just kill them. But on hard, on normal mode, there's a 50% chance they turn into a zombie villager, and on hard it's a 100% chance. Anyways, I'm not gonna sit around here and just let it do whatever, so... Yep. Let's go take care of this. We have a couple options. Let's start with the water filter. Water filter just funnels them down into a bottomless pit, so I never have to worry about them. However, it's pretty inefficient, so let's instead get an arrow barrage going. But that's also pretty efficient, so let's just scorch them. Nice and crispy. I should really change these out to barrier blocks so I have clear windows. Whatever. And yeah, there's also a furnace function over here if there's a zombie test. That should be repeating. Why is it not repeating? There we go. It's also really loud, so we're gonna just ignore that. So anyway, that's the lab. Oh yes, Wilson. Based off another Minecraft YouTuber, Wilson, an artificial intelligence-ish thing. This is Wilson 1.0. He is broken beyond any form of repair. He's using one of those old-school item elevators. Just look at this circuitry. I was terrified I would break a thing of glass and water would spill everywhere and ruin everything. I have no clue how any of this works anymore. I did not label anything. What even is? Just look at it. Look at it! What does that do? Where does that line go? I really did not like Wilson, and when I heard 1.8 was going to break him, I built Wilson 2.0. I actually just copied him over to here, deleted all of his circuits, and built him back up from scratch with the same base plate. And Wilson 2.0 is nice, except when I accidentally delete his stuff. The item frames, if I accidentally execute the wrong type of kill at E, kill all the entities, then the item frames disappear. It's really annoying that if you enter /kill and you put and you put Astidjeff, or whatever, it won't try and kill whatever that is, it will kill everything unless you specify it. Whereas if you try and TP that thing, it will just say, hey, can't teleport that. Anyways, this is Wilson 2.0. The circuitry is a lot cleaner, you can probably tell just by looking at it. It's a lot easier to follow what's going on. Maybe over here it looks a little complicated, but honestly, just looking at it for a bit, it's not too hard to figure stuff out. I regret not using colored wires, having the blocks that the wires are going on be colored, but other than that, it's pretty good. He does use, not an old school elevator, he uses a dropper elevator for feeding, which is pretty loud and annoying, so I don't use him anymore. Especially not since I built Wilson 3.0, so we'll get to him in just a minute. Wilson 2.0 is technically capable of working, but I don't use him anymore. I turned him off. Wanted to work on building a type of mob elevator. So, what am I saying? I think it was 1.11 that made this change, where mob cramming was a thing. So I wanted to build a mob system, however, you can't just funnel them all into a 1x1 hole. If 23 or more get in there, then they start to, yeah, this is just open here. If 23 or more mobs end up in a hole, then they start taking suffocation damage. So I devised, well, I didn't devise, I think I saw it somewhere. But I saw a system somewhere, and we should be seeing it soon, where it would separate them into groups of like 20 or so, and then, come on. And then the system opens up and takes it to another cell. Yeah, see, you heard that? They started taking suffocation damage until enough died that that stopped. So here, let's just go grab ourselves a nice sharpness 9001, sweeping edge 5. And this way you could get your drops and XP and it would be fine. Anyways, I think I also wanted to build a kill option. This, my crowning achievement, Wilson 3.0. Not my crowning achievement. The other Wilsons had 4 statistics. He has 6. That is bigger than 4, therefore better. His feeding is much faster. With Wilson, you can feed him stuff, and it affects his stats. So right now, his apple stat is hunger. So you can feed him apples, and that makes him lose hunger. But then he can also gain weight. Currently, as a debugging tool, you can feed him bones, and that makes him lose weight. But he does comment on it. Yeah, I have him interact with chat. He'll also send out a chat message if he gets hungry if I'm not around. His fun meter, you feed him ender pearls to do that. I'm trying to think of more unique ways to do it than just giving him his food item, because that's kind of boring. So I decided with Wilson I was going to use commands mostly, and I wasn't going to build vertically, I was going to build horizontally. So this is all the circuitry that controls him. It's actually not that complicated. I'm sure it looks complicated, especially if you don't know how command blocks work. And I'm sure I could do this much cleaner, but yeah, this is Wilson. Essentially, all these do is fill up these things over here, which control the redstone lamps. And there's some logic behind that too that I'm not going to get into because I don't even remember at the top, off the top of my head. He's got a couple circuits here. Oh yeah, this is the face control. It uses structure blocks to just load the appropriate face, because he also changes his face if he gets too sad or too happy, or too hungry or whatever. In keeping with the giant cactus, at one point in time I wanted to build a giant crafting table. Pretty sure this project can be considered abandoned. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. This is the chicken game. It's a game where you shoot chickens. I'm not going to get into it. It has a bit of complexity with it. I have a difficulty selector, a time selector. This is the fish tank. I didn't realize that you couldn't get squid spawning in this type of world for some reason. So it's empty, and will stay empty forever. I actually had to use commands to place all this glass. I'd still be here if I was doing it manually. This is a, I wanted to build a casino, or at least a gambling game. Oh, that broke? Another thing broken by a careless kill command. Let's see, here, and I think, how did we gamble? With diamonds? Yeah. I mean, look at the palette. Of course it's diamonds. So you would put a diamond in here, right? Get 2 diamonds. But then you put another diamond in. And you only get 1. And sometimes you put it in, and you get none. I think it only supports 1 diamond at a time, though. Yeah, see, that one ate it, so we're back to just the 1 diamond. Pretty interesting. Again, another YouTuber I saw was trying to build a Simon game, so I copied his design for the faceplate, but I have nothing in place of the logic. I'm pretty bad at coming up with my own ideas. Most of the time I'll see what someone else has done, and I'll be like, okay, how would I do that? How would I improve on that? This is a vanishing wall that reappears after a few seconds. This is a chunk error. Like, I actually emptied out this chunk and placed a tree here. The trick being that if you were on a multiplayer server with someone, they'd be like, oh yeah, just a chunk error, I can walk into it. Ah! The underside of my world is weird. This is a gumball machine. I've never actually owned a gumball machine. I'm not sure if they do this, but I think they do. So yeah. It's just a random mess of noise. This is one of those old 1.9 piston translocator elevators that no longer works. Pistons used to be able to move you around a lot more back with 1.9, but they removed that, obviously, because it was brokenly overpowered. This is a first attempt at the betting game. Probably doesn't work, not going to bother with it. We're back over by the firework factory. This is the basis of that rainbow tunnel I showed earlier. This was a test to see if plants needed light to grow. Spoiler alert, they did. So the glowstone provided artificial light, and that was good. This is one of my preferred methods for pumpkin and melon harvesting. Just pistons doing all the work for me. Yeah, slurring my words. I am a big fan of automatic farms. This was going to be part of an adventure map. All the paintings are gone. No! Everything, no. All the... Oh, that sucks. This is going to be an insane asylum, where you would have to find secret rooms and escape. And there's a thing over here, and you would go down, and you would release a bunch of zombie patients. And it would be cool. But, again, I never did anything with that. I don't know why I insisted on doors everywhere. This is a ship. I know that's not how flags go. I just wanted to. It actually looks okay from a distance, but obviously up close it looks horrible. This is the world map. Just a nice top-down view of the world, so you can see it's just a giant mess. Here's a zoomed-out version. There's the Nether. There's the end. Yeah, I know the Nether would be like that. I just wanted that for posterity. This is a shower. Yes, that is how showers work. The death games, where you just have a bunch of, you know what, why not? Spawn a villager, and just... I would get all the different types going, then I would just... Yeah, I was a pretty horrible person. Still am, actually. Those are some graves, I think. I don't know. Old school item transportation. Look at those two fences. That doesn't work anymore. And we're back over in this area. Did I miss anything there? Iron Golem Farm? My bad. Poppy Farm. Yeah, let's run over there. Bunch of villagers and doors up there. I was trying to build a nice poppy farm so you could go to the chest and get all your poppies and all this worthless iron. Still not sure how to increase my poppy rate. I'm sure there's something. This is the original version of the chicken game. It no longer works. It's out of order. Out of commission, my bad. Some piston doors. I've just been going for a long time. I was hoping to hit more than one world today. But there's just so much stuff. Although I think we're actually hitting the end of most of this area. Just more random garbage everywhere. I've probably missed so much of it, too. Let's go over to this area, where things get a bit more abstract. These things, I don't know. What was I thinking when I built those? It's a face. That's all there is to it. Someone told me they could build a better creeper than I could, so they took 5 minutes and built that. I took 2 hours and I built that with a model. And I copied it and pasted it over. Again, this was before 1.12 when they updated the color palette, so now it looks wrong. This is the Death Games. It no longer functions. Wait, wasn't the other thing called the Death Games? What was this? I think they were both called the Death Games. This was an arena survival thingy where I would... Here, let me see if I can get in here. I should probably not have these here because they activate the thing. So you would go ahead and you would pick your difficulty and you'd select what mobs you'd fight, or you'd have special modes over there and you would fight them. And it was just a giant mess. Just a bunch more random redstone creations. I wanted to make an underwater level for the Death Games. It's an archway I was trying to build. I think all that's really left to discuss is the 6 and 8-bit display. So let's just head over to the 8-bit display because it's just 4 6-bits stacked on top of each other. Just a giant black box. That over there is another test with rails, trying to figure out how they work and how to get good rail transportation going. Alright, so this is the 64-bit display. There are 256 redstone lamps out there, and any combination of these levers will alter which one is lit up at any time. I don't know how which one affects which, just that it does. So yeah, it's a thing. And the way it works... Let's see, that's the on-off switch. Let's just... The way it works. Let's just look at the 6-bit, then imagine 4 of those stacked on top of each other. So this is the 6-bit. It's 64 of those lamps. And the way it works is you have the levers, and they control each of these, and they control one of these thingies. So, if you have it up, then it goes one way. If you have it down, it goes another way. and it goes to another one of those, which goes to another one, which goes to another one, and you can split the signal all the way down. It's binary, basically. This is 1 byte of memory. 1 byte. And undoubtedly, people have done it more effectively than I have, but this is my byte. It's a village. I think I ransacked that with TNT cannons a while ago. There actually was a village over by where Wilson is. Oh, sweet. Wilson leveled up. I think that means he just aged 1 more day. He does have a lifetime counter up there. Yeah, over by this area there was a village at one point, but I nuked it. And I'm thinking we are almost done with this world. So what else am I missing? Let's just quickly go through the teleport room, make sure I got everything. Hey, Grum. Teleport room. I have a distorted Enderman sound for the teleporting. So let's see, we covered the betting game, Wilson, the death games, giant cactus is where we were, sandstone maze, lab, command room, color mixer, binary display, chicken game. So all we're really left is the village. Found a village not too far away. I think there's a path of torches that if you follow it heads back to the world. And I built like a fire cannon, I think. And the trick was I had to try and shut the cannon off because I had a creeper and a minecart that would follow this track up, go down over here, and that would activate the cannon. So you had to try and shoot the guy through this hole over here while you were under fire from the cannon. I'm not entirely sure, though. Like, what was I thinking? Honestly, I don't know. Oh, hey, there's another one. I didn't know this was here. So, yeah. I think that's it for the world. Like, yeah, I think that's actually everything. Here, let's just head to the teleporter. Huh. Anyways, I did a lot of talking just now. Like a good solid half hour, it feels like. Could be more, could be less. My voice is starting to give away, though. So anyways, that is going to do it for the World Tour episode number 1. We'll cover our survival world next, I think, and I don't really have any other worlds to tour. Anyways, thank you all for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.